The joys of European cities are endless. Every place having its own style, feel, ambience, and mystery. When I arrived in Girona, all I knew of it was a name. It's now one of my favorite cities, and certainly I have a desire to revisit. To have Nate with me is the icing on the cake. And we were exploring as soon as our feet hit terra firma. After the flight, love the architecture, historic significance, a fun place to sit and soak, have a coffee, the magnificent cathedral, the distinct European street cafes, avenues, vistas over Roman ruins, and not least, the fresh, clean feel of the place. Just walking around was a treat. The river that dissects the city, providing iconic views. So come with me. Let me show you Girona. We were on our way back to London from Marrakesh, and on checking the budget airline destinations, decided to take a look at Girona. It was a pleasant surprise. It did afford all the niceties that mollycoddled travelers like myself crave. A nice hotel, a good breakfast, good coffee, and Wi-Fi.
Great breakfast.
It has character, beautiful streets, a river running through the center of the town, and plenty of great restaurants. In fact, the #1 Michelin restaurant in the world is here. Furthermore, Girona is consistently voted by the citizens of Spain as the most preferred city in which to live. It has a number of historical sites that are fascinating, though in a sense, the whole place is historical. The Jewish quarter, the churches, the buildings, the bridges. I notice one of them seems out of place, iron not stone, more ugly than graceful, and begin to understand how the people of Paris must have felt when its creator designed a tower for them. You guessed, the bridge might well have been called the Eiffel Bridge. Gustav Eiffel built it in 1876, and yes, he's the culprit who built the tower in Paris. It's no ordinary city, so take a long look and read between the lines and listen to the voices of the past, or you might miss out. So as you look, imagine. We need to go back over 1,000 years. But first, what about the food?
Right, we're in Girona, one of the main streets with all the shopping boutiques, nice alfresco restaurants. Ours is La Carta. We got some seafood paella coming on the way.
Great location. Good variety of starters, all beautifully presented. Paella, a must. Desserts, delicious. The first known inhabitants in the region were Iberians. Later the Romans arrived and built a citadel, which was given the name Girona. Then the Visigoths and the Moors ruled here, and in 785, Charlemagne, king of the Franks, conquered it. Charlemagne means Charles the Great. He was the son of Pepin the Short. Napoleon's armies twice tried to conquer it and failed, hence the monument in Independence Square. Interesting, 2 units of Irish soldiers helped to repulse the French. It all happened here by the river. Some of these buildings are actually from the 12th century, when there was a flourishing Jewish community here, and one of the most important Kabbalistic schools in Europe. They are the people who eagerly devour sacred Jewish texts. It was here that the rabbi of Girona, Moses ben Nachman, or Nachmanides, was appointed great rabbi of Catalonia. Some say it's the birthplace of Kabbalah. Others say that was the other Moses. Most traces of Girona's rich Jewish history were obliterated when the Jews were expelled from Spain. But in reality, it's difficult to make buildings disappear. Fascinating facts surround this part of the old town. It's called El Kai, the old Jewish quarter. In medieval times, as in many European cities, there emerged thriving Jewish communities. They lived here, had their synagogue, their homes, the butcher selling kosher meat, their schools, and even baths. The Jewish community here was second only to Barcelona in Catalonia. Girona has even been known as the Mother of Israel, but in 1492, as in the rest of Spain, all the Jews had to leave the country if they didn't convert to Catholicism. Parts of the Kai are indeed very old. It's a maze of cobbled streets with the high buildings creating deep alleys. Don't miss a stroll through this historic area. An interesting item is the coat of arms of Girona, the motto being Girona m'enamora. I fall in love with Girona. Believe it or not, the ancient cathedral, which stood on the site of the present one, was used by the Moors as a mosque. And after their final expulsion, was entirely rebuilt. The present building is Catalan Gothic architecture. The entrance is by 86 steps that form a formidable staircase. The small square at the foot of the steps is a great place to have a coffee and take in the sight. Inside is beautiful. Building started in 1038 and continued for 6 centuries, so there are different styles. The first building was built in the Romanesque style but redesigned in 1312. A little about Girona. It's a city of Catalonia in the northeast of Spain that now has a population of over 100,000. The good news, and the bad news, depending on who you are, is that the budget airlines fly here. They speak Catalan and also Castilian Spanish, and are good at football. It has a temperate subtropical climate. In winter it's okay, but can get quite cold. In summer, it's hot. Rain? Don't worry. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain, as the pilot will tell you if it's raining when you land. We hired a car and decided to get the overview from the top of the hill. Beautiful view and great weather. And we could probably see the hills of southern France, and certainly could see the now rebuilt Roman wall. By the way, the bells you hear were signaling the proclamation of King Felipe VI of Spain in Madrid. Then back down to the city. What a day. Beautiful sunshine, 29 degrees, 12:54, 19th of June, 2014. Felipe VI used to be the Prince of Girona. Didn't seem like they were celebrating much. We decided to take a walk through the city. Not so much a walking tour as a quiet stroll, taking in the beauty of this place and soaking in the history. Pass through the Placa Santa Susana and the Catholic church that gives its name to it, then through the narrow streets toward the river. Some interesting shopping areas and old buildings on the way. Girona is well known for the picturesque houses overlooking the River Oña. They were built from the Middle Ages onwards, and so exhibit differing styles. The bridges are the best viewing points from where we can admire the scene, which has been a source of inspiration for many artists down the years. The houses tend to give a feel of the Mediterranean, with facades painted in pastel shades, according to a palette created by a group of architects. Amazing. The colors certainly look great. We were soon in the old town, La Rambla, parallel to the river, and the home of many street cafes and restaurants. It's a tree-lined avenue with al fresco dining, upmarket shops, and interesting arcades. It's on the east bank of the river. The narrow streets are now a pedestrian precinct, surrounded by the old city walls. And here's my selfie. As I walked into Plaza de la Independencia, that is, Independence Square, for the first time, I remember thinking it was totally different. A little more modern, but has a great charm. The arches, the lamps, the actual buildings are majestic, and the dining and atmosphere really attractive. Its mainly al fresco dining is not unlike Venice or Paris. But it's not like them either, if that makes sense. Not as busy as Barcelona, but grander than La Rambla. Perhaps the heart of Girona, and a beautiful place to spend an hour or two, with many restaurants and cafes. Any travel destination with so many great restaurants has to be high up on the list of places to visit. Girona is a top destination in this respect, but has so much more to offer.